Hello, this is your WordPress site and Google Services presentation on YouTube here for the presentation which was presented at Campus North on Thursday the 9th of November 2017. Due to the fact that the recording didn't go too well on the night, I've chosen to re-record this again with the presentation also on the screen in front of you. So you can download these slides from the link which I'll provide on the YouTube video by all means. But let's go through the presentation itself. So, about myself, I work at Brand New Future full time. I am a web developer there, and I also do customer support, get various tasks with design as well, but that's my main role, web developer and customer support. I'm also the owner of the freelance business Advertise1, which I do on evening and weekends, focusing on businesses, getting them the best products and services for their online presence. I also do other things as well with photography, social media, websites, that sort of stuff. Which some of the stuff I do for my freelance I'm going to show you today, and offer services for their online presence. And in my spare time I enjoy photography, concerts, and also travelling as well. So what are we going to focus on today? What is Google Analytics, how to set up Google Analytics, how to use Google Analytics to its full potential, what is Google Search Console, which also was known as Google Webmaster Tools, how to set up the Search Console, how to use the Search Console, and what is Google My Business, how to set that up, and what can you get out of Google My Business. So I've split this into a 3x3 section. I've also got demonstrations to show you as well on this video. So what is Google Analytics? Google Analytics is a free analytics service that tracks and reports website traffic. It includes how many people have been visiting, to the pattern of how many people have been browsing your website. So I will show you an example of this anyway. That includes various sort of information, such as how long people have been on the website, how have they got on the website, have they entered directly, have they came through Pinterest, Facebook, they came through Google search, you name it, have they access from a desktop, have they access from a mobile, how long have they spent on a page. That I will show you all this, so it can show you a lot of information. Google Analytics can be accessed anywhere after the account and the site has been set up, which I'll show you how to set that up as well, on the mobile app and on third-party plugins. So if you have a WordPress website, you can download a plugin from the plugin section. Just type in Google Analytics, and then it'd be a case of you can attach your site on there, which the plugin will give you instructions for that. And Google Analytics has been around since 2005, so it has been around for 12 years. So let's keep going. How to set up Google Analytics. So set up the account at google.co.uk/analytics. Go to the admin panel and set up a new website into the portal. Give an account name, website name, and a website URL. Remember to set the correct time zone. Now that is very important, because it's a case of if you go and look at analytics and it says that you've had a lot of people accessing at 5 o'clock in the morning, say, which is in the US, New York State's time, but really it's 10 o'clock in the UK, that can give a false indication. So set your time zone up correctly, and finally accept the terms and conditions. If you know how to do this, great. If not, there is a plugin to do this. Copy the code into your website header, which can usually be found in the header.php file in your WordPress theme, and then review the data processing amendment in the account settings. Test this by going to real-time data to see if this is working, and their plugin which can apply to Google Analytics too. So there we go. There's a screenshot there, so you can see WordPress NE. So this is the example which I've made for you for the presentation. You've got a tracking code there which you can copy into the header tag, or alternatively this UA code. Keep an eye on that, because you need that for a plugin in particular to make sure that you attach the right website to the right set of analytics tools. There's an example there. So if you got a theme which you edit yourself. You've got your WordPress dashboard there. You've got appearance, editor, theme header, which is header PHP, which I mentioned before, and then there where you can see the mouse hovering is the Google site tag, which I've copied in just before the header tag, which you've got the slash head there. It's a very good place to put that, so it's the first thing that loads on the website, and Google recognises it for other tools as well, such as the Webmaster, which I'm going to do shortly. There is the data processing amendment which I said about, where you click review amendment there. You do need to do that, otherwise your analytics will not work. And then an example there where it says 1 person on the website, which at that moment in time when I was testing that is true. So how to use Google Analytics to its full potential. Now I've already mentioned some of this already earlier on. What do you want to know about your audience? How they're accessing and how long they're spending, which I've got here. How long spent, what devices used, what referral site brought them to the site. So as I mentioned before, is it Google, is it Bing, is it Facebook, Twitter, if it came from another website. So if you as such you've got a website about blogging, as it came from another blogging website. If you're an artist, say this came from another artist website, or someone who's promoting your stuff, it's good to know how they've got to you. The order which pages have visited, so they came in through the home, and then which direction they navigate through the website. Language is also shown, so is it English or is it someone from another part of the world. It even shows their location depending on the internet provider of the user. Now I do make that very clear, because some providers will state that it will be Newcastle, and that's good. However, sometimes depending on the provider, it could say it's a different part of the country. Now I know being back home, I'm with BT at my parents' house, and it does say Workington. If I use my internet over in Newcastle, I know it says Wall's End, and if I use it in my day job, I know it actually says somewhere down south. So be careful on that one. Report. You get your generic report, which Google will provide you. A time comparison report, so you can compare what last week been to the week before, what has this today been compared to yesterday, that sort of stuff. And then the custom report as well, which I'm not going to go massively into today, but it is something you can look into with the Google Analytics documentation, and there's plenty of YouTube examples there as well. So, example. So if I go on to Google Analytics, I'm going to sign in. So you can see there, I just type my password in. So it's logging in, excellent. Okay, so I've got into the Analytics account. So let's say there's the WordPress Northeast one, which I mentioned to you. So if I was to go and create a new one, it'd be a case of I go into the admin panel there, create a new account, put all the information there, so whatever your website is, your website name, industry, back to what I was saying, get your time zone correct. So on this occasion it will be GMT 0. Maybe my scroll's not working properly. So if I put in London, oh, I've got United States, that's why. So you need to put United Kingdom first, and then it shows. There we go. So you got GMT London. So of course after the clocks have gone back as well, so it shows the right time when you're in the summer months as well. And then get your tracking ID. You get your tracking ID. You know what, I'm going to make one quickly for you, so I'm going to call it WordPress Northeast 2, and I'll delete it later. WordPress Northeast 2, WordPress NE dot Advertise1 clients, get tracking ID, accept the terms and conditions which I said, and again put it back into United Kingdom, I accept. And you get your code, which you've seen on the screenshot before. Now what did I say? You need to go into the property settings, go back into admin, account settings I should say. You've got the data amendment, which hasn't been accepted yet. Review amendment, accept that, save, and it'll come up with today's date. So if I refresh that page now, there we go, November the 22nd, because this is a course presentation which has been recorded at a later date, that's there. So I haven't linked this to a site yet, but you've seen how that was done before. If I go into the WordPress Northeast one and show this work and the earlier one which I've made, go into real time, no one there right now. So if I go on WordPress Northeast, got a little test there, and that will say a 1. There we go, so 1's showing. So as I was saying, you've got your audience section, you've got your overview. So there's not much there at the minute, and you can get a lot of information from this behaviour, which is who's been returning a new, which of course goes back to the IP address, technology, what browser, what operating system, it's on mobile. I'm going to go through a couple of my examples. So I have got permission off these people, by the way. This is a hairdresser which I done in Maryport back in August of this year. Made a new website, and I announced that the website was live earlier on in the year. So if I look at August till now, you'll see on this graph here that the big massive peak here when it first announced on Friday, August the 11th, 269 people have been on, and it's been very low since, just a couple of people a day. It is a static website, it's an informative website, so I don't expect too much from this, to be honest. This can be improved if the site is advertised on social media or it's used more than just information. If we go back, let's drill in a bit more. Let's just look at August for this site. I'll get a bit more information. So you see you've got the peak there, 269 and 37. Now looking at this information, I've got new and returning visitors. So over 10% of people have visited this site again. Now it could be more, if people have accessed on the mobile and then they've accessed at home, that classes a new visitor, unfortunately. So it's not a great indication, but you can get an idea that there's people logging in on the same computer. Average time on the site is just over 1.5 minutes, which is good. It's the case where they've been staying on the website. Looking at the country information, most of the people have been in the UK, which is what I expect. Don't look too much at the city, because this can be slightly incorrect, but the fact is saying right here in Workington here, I know that's in the area. Let's have a look at operating system. A lot of people look on iOS. Let's have a look at mobile. Not too much. If I look at the mobile overview, which is a great one, who's been on mobile, desktop and tablet? There we go. So in August alone, 77% of people have accessed on mobile. So in this day and age, people access on a mobile. Tablet, 2% on a tablet, which I thought it would have been higher, but that's the way. That's what it is. And then 19% on desktop. Now you can do a comparison report, of course. So I'll go through that quickly and then I'll move on. I could be here forever going through a lot of this. So if I go back to home, customize, you've got your dashboards, and you can look at reports there. You've got your custom reports, and then you've got your audience as well. To customize it, let's have a look at the custom report quickly. Your custom report, all your information there, what you want to call it, and what views you want. So if you've got more than one website, by all means do so. Like I said, there's a lot of guides to this where you can look to see what you can do. Here we've got comparison here for the last 7 days. I've got today as well, so what we've got today. And you do get quite a few nice little dashboards which you can get as well. There we go, we've got a comparison there. Right, I'm going to move on to the next section anyways. So I'll close the analytics part down. I'll look at the webmasters. So I'll go back to the presentation. So, what is the Google Search Console Webmaster Tools? Now, the Google Webmaster Tools on the Search Console is a free service offered by Google that helps you monitor and maintain your site presence in the Google search results. You don't have to be signed up for the Search Console for your site to be included in the Google search results, but doing so can help you understand how Google views your site and optimizes performance in the search result. Some people know it as Google Webmaster Tools, and it's now known as Google Search Console, which I just mentioned before. One second, just get a quick drink. So why use Google Search Console? Monitor your site performances in Google search. Make sure that Google can access your content, submit new content from crawling, and remove content you don't want to show in search results. So if you've got an old website, say, or an old link which you want to abandon, which I've actually done this recently as well, then you can move it off. Or if you've got content you need on Google soon, instead of waiting, you can force it manually. Create and monitor content that delivers visually engaging search results. Maintain your site with minimal disruption to search for performance. Monitor and resolve malware or spam issues so your site stays clean. And Google is good for that. If they know that there's been a virus, they will tell you that there's a virus, and unfortunately it will tell your customers that this site has been hacked, which is a good thing and a bad thing. So at least if it gets flagged up, you can fix it quickly. Discover how Google search and the world sees your site, which queries caused your site to appear in search results. Did some queries result in more traffic to your site than others? And are your product prices, company contact info, or events highlighted in rich search results? Which site are linking to your website? Which Google Analytics kind of does that for you as well, but it's there too. And is your mobile site performing well for visitors searching on mobile? Which in this day and age, that is very important. As I showed you with one of those analytics results there, it is that was important at the start. Going back to one of the Google Analytics results quickly, I've got forgot to mention this before. I've got a friend, Louise, she does a blogging site, and I know that she has constant views. Going back into this, I'll just do the last 3 months. So September till November, she's got a good 50 views a day. There's a gap where it did break. If I go into your mobile, I know that it is quite dominated on mobile. They are 40%, so nearly half on mobile, so it is important there. Going back to this, why should you use Google Search Console? Anyone with a website, from a generalist, so anyone who's just using general, to someone who's specialised, from newbie to advanced, the Search Console can help you. So you can be the business owner who delegates, your SEO specialist or marketer, your site administrator, or your web developer. Now I do have some notes on this here, which I did print off earlier on. You can just bear with me. And I'll put them all together. Right, give me 1 second. I'll just get these notes. 1, 2, 3. Aha. Printed right at the back of a sheet. There we go. Yeah, so your business owner delegates. Even if you don't know how to use a Search Console, you should be aware of it and become familiar with the basics. You might hire your webmaster or marketing specialist to help you with your website and the Search Console. In that case, you can work with that person to ensure you access and control all reports for your website. In addition, it's a good idea to learn about how your site is performing and make sure important business decisions are made about your website. You've got your SEO specialist and marketer, which is what it is. Your site administrator, which can check the health of the website and to maintain the site to make sure that it runs smoothly, and if there's any sort of hacking or malware problems or load issues, that your site administrator can sort that. And your developer who builds your website, they can monitor any issues with the site as they're building it. There's also app developer as well, but we're not looking at app today, but it is something you can look into if needs be. Let's keep going. How to set up the Search Console. Luckily this one is a lot simpler in comparison to the analytics. They set up the account at google.com/webmasters. Go to add property to add a site. You can verify using Google Analytics, but the alternative method is this does not work for any reason. or you don't have access to the code to add analytics, and there you go, the site should be added. So you got an example here. So you've got the WordPress Northeast one, you got your dashboard, the call section we're going to be looking at in particular, and then you got how to use the Search Console. So I'm going to show you in this order. Start by testing the robots.txt file, which is in the crawl section, and then the tester. This is the file which sets the rules for any site crawlers going through the site. Google site crawlers will need to read the site to be able to publish the site on Google. Then you got submit sitemap, which is crawling sitemaps. You can use the Yoast SEO plugin, which is useful for creating a sitemap, and then attach it. This is the file which shows the hierarchy of the website and what the main page and what the sub page is. And then you can fetch the website to Google with the crawl, and then fetches Google, which it does a manual crawl of the website, and it gets the latest results and puts them onto Google without waiting for the site to pull to Google automatically. So if I get a quick demo of this one is a shorter one, I promise. Get the analytics switched off. Google Webmasters, sign in. If you haven't got an account, then don't worry, you can go into it pretty quickly. And I've got the WordPress Northeast one there. If I look at that one quickly, you've got your crawl, you've got your test for robots, which if I test that, there shouldn't be any issues. It's allowed. Then look onto sitemaps. Now, because this is just a simple page, there's no sitemap submit for this one. So if I go into Advertise1, my website itself, it's HTTP Advertise1, that one. There we go. So I've got the sitemap index there. If I look at that file, got your page sitemap. So it submitted 25 pages for me. So I know that's worked, and I know if I go on the internet and type in Advertise1 on Google, there we go. So I know that the results are submitting there. So there we go. And then fetches Google. So if I've done a load of changes to the website, I can submit, which I've done here. Now, don't ignore this time, so because this is an American timestamp. This doesn't matter, and you can't change it. I have had a look at this, and that's just the way it is. What's more important is that your status is complete for desktop and mobile when you fetch and render. So if we go into the search traffic, the search analysis, back to the keywords, there we go. That's what people have been typing in, and but they haven't been on the site. But if your website is really populated, so let's look a little step further again. I know that one does have some good results. There we go. Some of the blogs have been talked about. 51 clicks for the Etihad versus Emirates, and a few others as well. Have a play around with this. It is useful, as I said, whichever role you're in. So I don't need to go into too much with that. So back to the final section. I have Google My Business. So what is Google My Business? It is a free and easy to use tool for businesses and organisations to manage their online presence across Google, including search and maps. By verifying and editing the business information, you can both help customers to find you and tell them the story of your business. So simple as that. Now, how to set up Google My Business? You can set up the account at google.com/business and set up a new business by using add a location and fill out all information about the business. You'll be asked to verify your business by a postcard, which comes in a post with a pin on it. I've got an example here, which it looks like this. Have a look at the front. I've got the address, and then you got that code 72713. So I can put that in as submitted. You've also got a Bing version as well, so if you want to be extra careful, you can add to multiple websites too. You'll be asked to verify your business by postcard, which I've just said. Fill out as much as you can on the setup, so when that ping comes, you can just submit your business straight away. And Google can take a week for the postcard to come, and it takes 3 days to review your submission. So there we go. WordPress Northeast, I've just done an example here for Carriol Square, mobile number, and then website. So that's just an example there. So what can you get out of Google My Business? You can manage your information that Google offers to see when they search for your business, or the products and the service that are offered. Businesses can verify their information with Google My Business and are twice as likely to be considered reputable by customers. Now, by the way, this came from Google Support, an article which I did get this month. That's why there's *1 on the end there. When people find your business on Google Maps and search, they can potentially access the information such as your opening hours, website and street address. Interact with customers, really responsive reviews from the customers, and post photos that show off what you do. Businesses that add photos to their listings to receive 42% of more requests for driving directions on Google Maps, and 35% more clicks through their website than businesses that don't. So again, Google did provide that information. Understand and expand your presence, so you can see insights of how customers search for your business and where those customers are coming from. You can also see information such as how many people have called your business directly from your phone number that has been on Google. So here's the final example. So I'll just come off here. By the way, if you want to add a site to this, that's the Add New Property section, which I did forget to mention. You just add it there and get verified for Google Analytics. So Google My Business, sign in or start now if you haven't done this before. So I've got one that's actually pending, funnily enough, which I've got for my photography website. So you can see I've got a couple pending there. I've got two which every so often you are asked to review, which this is the first time I've had this, because it's now, I'm not sure why that's done that. Just bear with me, I'll just quickly submit this. Every so often you do have to review your listings, so if they think they're out of date, just Google likes to know that you're keeping an eye on stuff. That's a Google rule in general. If things go stagnant, do start taking stuff off Google. So I've got not published and published here. So I've got the Advertise1 office, I've got a couple of other my clients, I've got a couple of pending. So it's a case to add a location. So as I just said, let's have a look. WordPress Northeast and 5. And spell Carriol Square. There we are, so it brings the map up there, just like that. And Newcastle-Upon-Tyne, and then put in the postcode NE118, just as an example, phone number, category, and website. Now this last section is important. I deliver goods and services to my customers at their location. Now if you do, then yes, that's fine, you can click that and you don't have to show your business address. So example, if you do tutoring or you go out to people, delivery services, by all means, yes, you don't have to show your address. If you're a shop, a cafe, or somewhere where people come and meet at your address, it is important that you show your address, and it of course gives you better results as well. And then when you submit that, if I get you an example here, get verified, that code which I showed you before, you put that into there, so 1 2 3 4 5, submit, and then that will work for you, and then you will say it will publish within 3 days. So just like that. So if I go to one of my businesses, now I'm going to go onto the Advertise1 Newcastle office. Straight away I've got my 6 to 11 hours, and I've got my Sunday and Saturday hours, which is 10 till 7. I put special hours in for Christmas to say that I'm not in operation Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and in the morning of Christmas Eve. Phone number, website, and I've also got photos which I've added as well. And this is important to show your business there, what you're doing. I haven't done too much with this yet, but you can add photos of what's going on, and then you'll get more interactions. Now if I view this on Google Maps to make sure that this is correct, there we go. So I'm showing that I've got 100-mile radius here. You can see that this is actually being recorded in Cumbria. So if I type in advertising agency, in Heaton, say. Now I haven't got my address shown, so that's not working too well. But if I do, let's say, hairdressers in Maryport, from one of them will be what I've put in for Yasmin Chloe's hair design. There we go. Which I've submitted this photo. She's closed today because this is recorded on Wednesday. I've been 2 days ago, which it's quite clever that it's known that I've been there according to Google Maps on my phone. I've never seen that before, but that's actually quite clever because I've never put in my phone that I was going for a haircut. So fair enough. And in the same way, if I type in Yasmin Chloe hair design into Google like that, there we go. You've got the results there, you've got reviews, and you've got the website there. Now what we're saying here, you've got directions. If you on mobile, you click the phone number, you can ring out as well. Going back into Google My Business, we go look into your Yasmin's results. I need to quickly remember Insights. This one is a good one to use. There we go. 77 people have got to the customer direct, and someone came in on discovery. So back to what I was saying, hairdressing in Maryport, hairdressing in Cumbria, how many listed on search and maps, how many people have called. So there's been a big height of calls on November 14th, but it is working. Considering there is a few hairdressers in this town as well, so it does come in very handy for that. Same to what I said before, the more you maintain it, the better it is for you. If you use all three together, you can use this well. So thank you for listening. There was a couple of questions which I got on a day, which I'll go through one of the questions and go back to Google Analytics. It was a difference between desktop and mobile and browser. And I did mention this before, I will quickly go through this again. So just get my Google Analytics to load. Now what's the difference? Now your browser is like how you use it in Explorer, Firefox, Mozilla. So if I go onto behaviour, audience and browser, technology browser, that will show me Chrome, Safari, Firefox. So if you look at the more like desktop, great, that works really well. You can have a second dimension, so you want to check mobile, desktop, tablet, then your browser by all means. But to look at your mobile, desktop and tablet, it's here, mobile overview, and it shows you your difference here. Same again coming to your referrals. Could be I always forget where referrals are, so just give me 1 second. Site search. It's always one I always have to think very carefully where it's at. If you're ever in doubt, you can always type in the top. So referrals, there we are, all traffic referrals. So here I'm getting Facebook, Pinterest, DuckDuckGo, and you show it on it shows on here. And your sources, let's have a look. You got it there. So if I type in social overview, this is a really good one. You get a nice little graph. Network referrals, let's have a look. Not too much on there. I'll just do whole November. So there we go, 43 sessions by Pinterest, 19 on Facebook, 2 on Instagram, 1 on Twitter. If I do a more of an overall range of this, August and November. Social, look at the social again. Orpheum social. Network referrals. Now the goals have only just appeared recently, so I'm just going to quickly check a few things. Interest to behaviour. Go into behaviour because I know that normally gives. It does tend to change quite often. So of course, back to social referral. At least there, like I said, you've got your differences. That shows you Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter. And if I go into referrals, it shows more. So it shows you more the generic websites as well. There we go. If I go on another website quickly, if I go on Yasmin Chloe's, now I know this was a very mixed referral on the time it was launched. If I look at August for this, 1st to the 31st, so straight away Facebook for majority on here, sources, and again all shown there, most of them being Facebook. You've got some direct, some Google. On social, let's have a look at overview here. There are 258 Facebook, 2 Twitter. So for me, the nicer one is this one here. Facebook being highest, Google. So it is, you can find out a lot, and this is basically an introduction which I'm giving you here. There's so much you can learn. I could be here all day going into great detail. There's also Google Tag Manager which you can use, and if you're familiar with that, you can link Google Analytics with Google Tag Manager, which is another question which I would ask, and I'll be looking more into that, which may be one of my presentations for Campus North and WordPress North East next year. I will be doing a presentation again in June. So, go back to the presentation. Thank you very much for listening. You've been listening to Jon Waite, freelance owner at Advertise1. If you have any more questions, you can email myself at hello@advertise1.uk. That's hello@advertise1.uk. Or you can visit the website at www.advertise1.uk. Thank you very much for listening. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you have learned something today. Thank you very much. Goodbye.